Why I joined newspaper?
I took journalism before I joined newspaper.
I really liked journalism at middle school. It was an English credit in the 9th grade.
When it came time to sign up for classes my sophomore year, I had put down both yearbook and newspaper.
My oldest sister, Katara, did newspaper when she was in high school.
And I was like, hey, this looks like fun. And I really, really liked the teacher. Ship came to the middle school and told me if I didn't do it, that she would hate me. I kind of fell in love with it, and then they're like, hey, join the newspaper. I'm like, okay, I'll do that.
And then Sierra, my other older sister, she's in yearbook right now, and they both seem to have a really fun time doing it. And I was like, one day that's gonna be me.
I took journalism because my sister, she was in yearbook and thought that I'd really enjoy it, realized that I really liked what we were talking about and liked what we were doing, and I was kind of like at the time looking for something to kind of throw myself into anyways.
Always wanted to be on the newspaper team.
She didn't say it like that, but she was like, if I see you guys in the hallway and I know that you took journalism and you're not taking newspaper or yearbook, I'm gonna glare at you.
I got my second semester schedule changed and I joined newspaper.
I joined newspaper just to write, because, like, not to be a weird person, but to write because I love to give people words that were mine that could affect someone in a way.
They just kind of put me in newspaper, and I've stuck around ever since.
Maybe she should.
I loved it last year.
For newspaper, I joined it because I thought it would be a fun experience. I knew people in the class.
My first semester was just kind of like writing stories and being told what to do.
Ship is great.
Journalism is a very big thing that kind of erupts change in a major way, and I would like to do the same thing.
It's a really fun way to incorporate writing, photography, and design is something that I never knew that I would have liked, but I've ended up really enjoying it.
When distribution comes around, all of the people are snatching papers, and it's just cool to see everyone reading and being interested in your work.
So I am the editor-in-chief, so I kind of manage the print and the online edition, so I overlook things.
I am the online editor, so I do my own stories, usually in print, and then I manage everybody that does online stories and keep the website updated.
I try my best to meet with each writer, each designer, stuff like that, and kind of see where they're at, try and see how I can help. I also produce my own content, so I've been doing mostly design this year and last year, but I've written too. And so I just kind of catch up with everyone and make sure that it all comes together in the end.
This year we've had this one sophomore who thinks he's really funny and steals the newspapers on distribution days.
That was a very stressful time.
There was this one kid and all of his friends were sitting at one of the booths by the courtyard.
So we hand him out, and then he goes and runs around and picks up copies and takes them out of people's hands.
I was very mad, and I was on the lookout while I was in the hall.
And the first time I caught him doing it, it was the October issue, I think. And I was walking behind him and a group of his buddies, and I saw him taking copies out of kids' hands.
It sucks knowing how much goes into it, and for him to just take them like that, and especially cost-wise.
I didn't say anything. I was really mad, and I came back here, and I was just yelling. I was so angry.
These papers that we produce now aren't cheap. And so for someone to collect probably $50 worth of them was very annoying, especially when we're the ones that go out and sell ads in order to pay for this paper. And then also just knowing that there are tons of other people that don't get papers anyways because we're not able to produce enough for everyone to have one. And then this kid thinks that he can just take 30 of them for a bonfire or whatever he was saying. But then I heard that someone had got them and it was all relieved. And then
Our next issue came around. It was the November-December one, and we were distributing it. It was right before winter break.
I didn't even think the next time that we distributed papers, I was up here because usually on distribution day I'm up in the newsroom and kind of telling people where to go, where refills need to go, stuff like that.
And I'm doing the activity doors with Brooklyn.
So I walked in the school, I walked past Ada at the front doors, and I walked in, I was walking behind this kid.
The yearbook editor came up and told me that it was happening again, and I just had no idea what to do. And so I was like, I gotta call in the guns.
And I get a call from Andrew, who's up here.
I was like, listen, he's back.
And he's telling me that Hannah, the yearbook editor, saw a kid with a bunch of copies.
I need something done about this. Told her, I'm like, okay, I don't know exactly where he is. I think he's in the cafeteria.
He's sitting in the booths in the cafeteria, and he asked me to handle it.
And so I'm pretty sure she like went down and hunted him.
So I walk up to the kid, and Brooklyn came with me, and the kid's surrounded by all of his little sophomore buddies, and I see him holding the copies in his hand. And I go, hand him over. And the kid's like, what? And I go, the newspapers, hand him over. And he starts trying to hide him behind his back. And I get really heated. And he just goes, what? It's funny. And that set me off. So I reach behind him and I rip the newspapers out of his hand. And then as I walked past him, this is in front of all of his sophomore buddies, like I shoved him with my shoulder as I walked past. And I was just so mad. I came back up here and I was steaming and I was, oh.
And that was probably like the most, like, pardon my French, but like badass moment of this year.
Apparently he's like, we told administration on the kid, but apparently he's planning on doing it again. If he does, I think I'm gonna get violent.
Not many people have like a newspaper thief, and so for us to have that and then for Otto just to go up and confront him was probably the coolest thing ever.